Dire team ban.
Welcome back to the casting table. I'm Luminous, he is Drasco, and this is game 2 of Birding United versus Na'Vi. And you gotta keep in mind that Na'Vi is 1 win away from going back to the hotel to rest.
That's true.
That's a big thing for them because they could finish the day early. And should Birding United lose, they still have quite a bit of climb left in them.
Yeah, you don't want to drop down now. I mean, going into the upper bracket, like you said, you get pretty much like a half a day of rest. That's good enough, like in of itself, just to be able to win. Of course, you make your way through the tournament in the upper bracket. But for this particular game, Cinnamon was talking about banning the Undying. We also mentioned it at the end of game number 1 when we saw how fruitful their Pugna Undying draft turned out to be for the side of Na'Vi. It is taken out here from Birding United, and they managed to get their hands on a Wisp. Now, since they've also partnered the Shadow Fiend with it, I mean, I imagine this has got to be like a Tiny ban, right? Like, Tiny is the go-to, I think, of any of the Wisp combination heroes, and PL's already banned out, which is another hero that Sing loves to play. I think that if you want to just go for a quick 2-0 in your Na'Vi, you probably take away not only the most common pairing, but one of which that Sing probably plays the best out of any of the pairings.
Here's the thing though, Winter Reverend is in his ultimate very good against Tiny.
Yeah, he is, but I just mean, if you can avoid giving somebody something that they're very good at,
okay,
why would you do it?
And they take it out immediately.
Yeah, I was just thinking to myself, like, even though I know that Winter Wyvern is picked, like, for the same reasons that Disruptor is usually picked against Wisp, because it's just a straight-up counter. Now, Wyvern functions differently in that you actually just try to kill both of them, or you just always curse the Wisp, and the carry kills the Wisp, right? Mm-hmm. And that way you can't relocate back and you're stuck on your own. So I would even say, to a degree, that Wyvern is better than Disruptor, and otherwise you would just have to go for like a Static Storm Kinetic Field play on top of it, or Glimpse, one or the other. Like, those are the ways that you play around with Disruptor. But either way,
Wyvern is definitely better, but I think Disruptor is much easier.
Yes.
You see him coming in, you Glimpse.
Yeah, because Winter Wyvern is solely reaction and being able to click on the point, right?
Yeah.
Whereas Disruptor, as soon as you see the animation on the minimap, you can start like
preparing
where it is, you put it down, and then you just teleport into it. So I do agree with that. They also have things like Witch Doctor available if they want to go that route and just have like an extra cast to throw out, and the Witch Doctor ward during a late game can supplement their physical damage output. But
they being Na'Vi here.
Na'Vi, yeah. Okay. I'm not sure if they want to go for the second support now, though.
Yeah, I think it's better to leave it till later on in the draft.
Yeah.
Do you find it surprising that we don't see Darkseer being taken out? Obviously, it's definitely one of Funnick's better heroes, and we just saw how devastating the combo was, and that combo is still left on the table, although I'm not sure if Na'Vi will want to go for it.
I think that Darkseer is still warranted to be picked up just on the sense that he's very good at punishing lanes, and Wisp is not really the greatest laner, and he's also a very poor D-pusher. But they also have Shadow Fiend right now. So I like the fact that Na'Vi actually take the Bristleback, as this is sort of a denial pick, in my opinion, yeah. You take it away from them, you make sure that they're not going to be able to run any crazy dual lane shenanigans, and Burden, they get their hands on a Shadow Demon, very good against the Winter's Curse. It could also be another setup for Bane Mirana, although I'm not sure if that's really the kind of hero that you want to run against what Na'Vi are doing now. They just have always extremely good fight potential whenever Na'Vi dropped a lineup. Even in the last game, they kind of lacked disables, but it didn't matter because they could just walk into you with a Tombstone and another ward, and you just couldn't do anything. Like, they were just going to take your towers, or you were going to fight into those two things and lose the fight horribly. So Na'Vi still not giving away an inch in regards to any small skirmishes or team fights. Kind of wondering what Burden's choice is going to be. You're smiling at me. That scares me. What is it? What are you thinking?
All right, Birding United picks Alchemist. You farm an Aghanim Scepter for your Shadow Demon.
Why?
And then you apply 3 breaks.
I mean, the break mechanic is amazing against Bristleback.
Or you could just farm a Silver Edge and
on your Shadow Fiend, yeah, which is not only a good item in general on the hero, but extremely good against Bristleback.
I gotta get my Alchemist.
Okay, dude. All right, it's fine. I accept that. I mean, I like Alchemist personally. Maybe not against this team.
Yeah, not against this team. I have to get away with it.
You would get no room, and it always has to be like a 4th or a 5th pick. It's the same way that you would pick like a Broodmother, for example, or an AM in a lot of cases, unless you're Burden in the first series of the day where they picked it 3rd and still won. But most of the time when you see that hero picked in these types of games, when Gyrocopter is already taken and Bristleback is already taken, which, by the way, that kind of leads into the next question, I guess, which I have for Na'Vi, is Bristleback is going to be a core. Gyrocopter is going to be a core. Does that mean Shaker and Winter Wyvern are hard support guaranteed?
I don't think so. I think Shaker can be a core as well. Teams have been playing Bristleback mid. I just haven't seen them be mid. Arteezy being the biggest...
That's why I was leaning more towards Shaker hard support, because I don't know if, like, obviously he probably plays the hero. He's probably played every hero. But I just mean in general, it's not something that I know him for.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if they go back for, well, Queen is banned out. He could go for Puck again. Puck's actually not bad against these heroes. Puck is almost ungankable for any Wisp combination that you can put together. Unless they're only...
SD Mirana's... You can land it in such a way where you can't face that.
You can do that, that's true.
But that's the thing, it's not like saying, hey, Puck can dodge SD Mirana. In fact, nobody can dodge SD Mirana, so can't really worry too much about that. Centaur is going to be the pickup here.
I like it, actually. There's not many heroes in the pool right now who have an ability so strong, like Stampede, that can allow you to either completely disengage or get a very nice positioning on Na'Vi to be able to take a good team fight. And outside of the fact that it's still a pretty decent tether target, like I would say not like top 3, but it's not bad. You can just tether, relocate, he blinks in, gets a stun off, you know, you find a kill off of that, and then you just go back. And if you do find yourself in a hairy situation, there's only really 2 heroes that can like give you a hard lockdown straight away, and that's Winter Wyvern with the Curse and then Shaker.
Yeah.
So I think that it's a good way of being able to outmaneuver Na'Vi when they are going to be looking to take their team fights.
I think what we're going to see more of is Centaur initiating on a hoof stomp on a hero, and then they immediately relocate in.
Yeah.
And just start the team fight. And obviously, once we're deeper into the game, if you pick up Aghanims on center, it really will shut down what Gyro and Bristlebacker do for a majority of the early part of the team fight.
You really do have to pop it at the right time.
All right.
Oh,
This is what we came to watch.
Well, I didn't know if I was coming to watch this, but I was kind of hoping.
Is this even a good Pudge game? I'm not sure if it is.
I think it is a good. Look at their heroes: Shadow Demon, Shadow Fiend, Wisp. That's like a Pudge dream.
Right, it's easy picks or easy hooks, and they don't have a lot of stuns. At the same time, first of all, the laning is going to be pretty terrible against Shadow Fiend.
It depends. Say, for instance, the Winter Wyvern hangs around mid for like a couple of waves. He only needs a little bit of an advantage, and then if you land a hook, the lane is like super one. Okay. And the Shadow Fiend pretty much has to go back into the woods or have a support rotate.
Mid-game, you get hooked, you get disrupted, or you get relocated back out. I feel like there's a lot of weapons that Burden United has against this.
But think about how often you can throw out hooks versus how often you can disrupt and how often you can relocate. I mean, the
relocate's definitely longer.
We're basing a lot of this off the fact that Dendy lands his hooks, but it's Dendy Pudge. He's gonna land some hooks.
Yes. There hasn't been a game where Dendy plays Pudge where he's like missing every single hook. I don't think I've ever seen that. So we are going to see a big Pudge. Slaughter being the pick here, which honestly the minus armor is going to be absolutely huge in combination with Shadow Fiend's
Requiem?
Yeah.
Or you mean Presence of Dark?
Presence of Dark Lord, yeah.
Yeah. This Blink stun into Requiem can be big if Necroman wants to go for like the Dendy style SF where you go for Blink play. I think there's a lot of combo potential there for Burden. And their team is also extremely good late game. Like Centaur actually scales into his own fairly well as a core. He becomes extremely tanky. Return actually starts hurting a lot for any hero that's not another core on the side of Na'Vi. And then you're also going to have the utility of Stampede with Aghanims like you spoke about earlier, having that really good damage reduction for any point in the game where you feel like you're in harm's way. So I do think that Na'Vi, for this particular game, a lot of their game plan is based off Dendy's Pudge. Like what can he get done? And if he has a good game, I think Na'Vi will be looking pretty good to take this 2-0. However, if he's not really able to find those hooks, and Burden get ahead in the laning phase, I think it could be the opposite. I think Burden could be looking to take this to a game 3.
Well, let's start it right there with Dendy, as he is going to be playing Pudge for Na'Vi on the Radiant side. Art style, handling an Earthshaker, kind of being ward on the mid lane. On the top, it's going to be Funnick playing Bristleback. Double Tango being purchased. On the bottom lane, Sunico playing Winter Wyvern once again, and it's going to be joined by Havos, who's playing the Gyrocopter.
Alright, and then side of Burden United, we're going to have Paris playing on the Centaur Warrunner. Towards the middle lane, we're going to have Come With Me, walking into the woods here on a Shadow Demon. Next to him is going to be Necroman on the Shadow Fiend. Wisp is going to be handled, of course, by Minox, and then Sing is going to be playing the Slaughter.
I know we're very far away from this, but I do want to mention that Burden United has a very poor team of going up against high ground. Pretty much Shadow Fiend's the only one that can hit tier 3 towers, and that's going to put him as well as teammates in prime position of being hooked.
But yeah, that is true. I just think that the way that they go high ground is a little bit different, and Havos, a little bit out of position here. There is a tether on a Necroman. Looks like they're not going to be able to deal enough damage to get a kill. He did not want to skill level 1 raise. But as far as going high ground, I think Burden, they're probably going to need picks, but they're also very good at controlling the map because they have multiple heroes who can initiate.
Slaughter, relocate,
right.
Centaur.
So they're going to go for more of the take the map control and never get it back until we have so much of an advantage that we can just straight up end the game. And now this situation for Dendi is not great. The dual lane against the Pudge is bad news. So instead of him having a support nearby that can help out, it seems like the Wisp is going to be the one from the side of Burden who's ensuring that Necroman has a good laning phase.
Well, that said though, he's actually not afraid to go in to get the last lane denied, so I say Dendi's still doing alright. But it is important, like you said, for Shadow Fiend to get it.
Funnick. He's taking some damage here.
Should be fine.
Yeah.
He's actually put the first point into his passive, so he should be pretty resistant when he's trying to run away.
Yeah, what is it? Oh, hook onto Dendi.
Is that first
Excuse me, onto Necroman.
Yep.
Dendi with the hooks. What a player. Alright, so the second that the Wisp wasn't in range, just immediately dead. And that was before Minot's even had his bottle. Bottom lane, though, Sasha taking some damage. I'm just going to force him back.
I mean, that's pretty much lane 1 for Dendi, right? Because he's not looking to get those kills. He's not looking to get the last hits. He just wants that level 5-6. And getting that is just kind of...
It's icing on the cake for sure. Like, finding that hook, it was something that I didn't think was going to happen, just because, like, dual lane, you kind of expect every once in a while the Wisp will leave to go stack, but that timing, you can calculate it, right? You just like, okay, he's going to be gone from, like, the second of, like, 42 plus until the minute, and then he's going to come back.
Bottom lane, we're going to see a wraparound from Winter River, and so once Arctic Burn's ready to go, it should be a very easy kill with Fissure online.
I do think he knows. Yeah, he definitely knows.
Very good awareness. I do believe he had a ward that saw the entrance to the jungle. Funnick going for a solo kill. It's going to get it.
Is he going to get 2?
Well, the cast...
Alright, never mind.
The wand's going to get popped.
He's got 3 stacks of poison on right now, but I don't know what level poison it is. Middle lane, though, in the meantime, Dendi does end up dropping. I gotta say, this early game still, even with Dendi going down there once, the Shadow Fiend's still only sitting on 4 CS. So I'd say that Dendi has been doing exceptional in his lane given the circumstances, and the fact that Funnick even just gets a kill. Now he has his bottle on top of that, he'll be able to go back to full mana.
Are they gonna go for a kill? Disrupt should do it. There is double damage on the Wisp. Not known for hitting pretty hard, but he actually kind of runs back away from tower range. Funnick will be fine.
If only Singh had boots there. I think he actually had enough to buy to the side shop. I think that would have resulted in the kill.
Sprint into the side shop, go for the chase?
I think well, depending on the path you take, like if you walk along the tree line, you can still buy boots. You don't actually have to go all the way into the shop, or at the very least, you can take the outside path and allow yourself to get there quicker.
Winter River cutting around one more time. The hook will miss. I think he could have waited for the Sonic Burn to Arctic Burn to initiate.
Yeah, perhaps. Now Sonico taking a pretty big beating here, as eating a raise and a right-click Dendi will be forced to bottle himself back up too. But I kind of I don't know, like the Pudge is still farming better than the Shadow Fiend. Like 14 and 6, compare that to 7 and 3. That's just the kind of presence that a Pudge has in lane.
Yeah.
Like this is why the matchup is so volatile, is if the Shadow Fiend gets ahead, he usually stays ahead unless a hook lands. But the hook landed so early that Dendi's just having way too much of a laning presence for Necroman to deal with on his own.
A lot of this is Dendi playing very well though.
I mean, he is known for his Pudge.
Which, I mean, every time you see Dendi play a game like this, like 10 more Pudge player is born and then side games are had. But
it is one of the hardest heroes to be proficient with. And here we go, another hook lands on a Necroman. Should be an easy kill. Tether comes in, bottle charges are there. It looks like it's going to be enough for Minot to keep him going. I thought they would be able to get that for sure, but
I thought like the he could have dived that, but...
Yeah, I thought he was going to dive. That's what I thought was going to happen, but maybe he didn't feel comfortable with the amount of health that he had. And he does secure himself a regen rune in the meantime, so it's not like killing him would have been nice, but securing both runes is also good.
Well, the thing is, he was getting overcharged and healed by the Wisp, so it could have really turned around if he did choose to dive. And 2 death in a row, not what you're looking for. And I think this is the time where Pudge, after he gets level 5, starts to roam, or maybe he'll stay around for level 6 as well.
I think you kind of want to wait until 6. Funnick, by the way, is stealing a stack in the woods here at the medium camp. It was fairly large. He's, what, close to level 6 after this is dead? That is very, very good for him. So he just read the situation perfectly. Now Necroman's sitting here, he's like, what the hell? My large camp is only 1 stack and my medium camp is just dead. That is not good if you're Burden right now.
The thing that we haven't really touched on here for Burden United is that they don't actually have any ways to kill Hero until they get Blink Daggers. which, given how their early game is going, is not going to come anytime soon.
Well, I don't know if they necessarily need Blink, but Relocate should be enough. Or if the Shadow Demon can smoke and find an opening disruption. That could be another way, because that will allow any other hero with a disabled to get in range, and they have Stampede.
I guess so.
So Stampede can just get you in for free.
Dandy just walking up, taking triple raises. He will die, but it gives kind of a hook. Burden United will take that. Take that to the bank. Top lane here, Funnick gonna get initiated on, but he's actually running towards the Shadow Demon. Now sort of running away, 3 poison stack. Here comes that Arctic Burn. Funnick turning around, a lot of stack on Sing Sing. He will pop the wand, trying to run away. Splinter Blast will apply the slow, but Funnick not gonna give the chase under the tower.
That was a bit of a close one, but everything considered, I'd say Navi are still edging out Burden a tiny bit in the laning phase.
I mean, look at Havosa's deny. He's got 20 deny against the Centaur.
Yeah, but this is expected. Centaur can't get anywhere near him in the wave. Like, if he does, he just gets Rocket Barrage and gets forced back. But smoke up here from Na'Vi. They're going to look for... Well, I guess they're going to find Come With Me, if anybody. He's the only one that's even in the vicinity. Oh, God, unless the Wisp walks right in.
Oh, the creeps helping the Shadow Demon out a little bit. The hook, though, it will connect regardless. Come With Me will go down. And Pudge gets the rot kill.
Are they just going to dive?
Yes, they will. Hook's coming off cooldown.
That's a hard hook to land.
He's got... Okay.
Yeah, he didn't have the distance. 448 move speed right now on Sing, so he just moves a little bit too fast. They're going to teleport more in. Looks like they want to try to chase this. He went for a tether slow onto Funnick, but unfortunately not going to be able to get it. And I don't think they're going to get anything out of this. They even teleport Come With Me back to the top lane. But I guess he was supporting the lane anyway, so he might as well.
I think the more important thing is that Centaur TP, so he's further and further away from that level 6. Well, not literally further and further away, but he's definitely slowed down. And Havosa is still having a time of his life on the bottom lane.
I'm wondering at what point they actually do something about this. Disruption in the top lane, though. Funnick, he's going to be taking a lot of damage with that Soul Catcher on. Come With Me will be able to secure that kill, and maybe the guy can finally buy himself a pair of shoes, because he hasn't had any up until now.
There you go. Picks it up.
Yeah. And Dismember going to be up on Dendi here in just a second. He'll hit level 6. I'm just thinking to myself, like, how successful does this Pudge need to be? Like, are we looking for Dendi to just go, like, beyond godlike? Of course, it would be fun to see, but is it necessary?
No. I think, let's say he disappears off the map for the next 5-7 minutes and finds, like, 1 or 2 kills. That's already enough. The fact that he's off the map, it's already pressuring Burden United, delaying their Blink Daggers. And if you get 1 or 2 like key hooks either on Shadow Fiend or maybe just 1 or 2 supports, these supports, something we haven't mentioned is that they're very underfarmed and underlevel. You talked about how Shadow Demon just picked up boots for 8 minutes in the game. And now he's a well-played Pudge by Dendi is going to be off the map. And once your tier 1s are down for Burden United, you're not getting anything farm-wise. You're just too scared to leave the tier 2s.
It does have a tendency to make people play together whenever you're against that Pudge, and you can't see him. So. And
this is not a great team to play together. It's not like your Undying Necro where you could push towers, right?
Yeah, that's true. Their push actually is pretty bad. I think they're really relying on the Centaur hitting 6 first and foremost, even maybe more so than the Relocate, because they need Stampede to be able to start engagements. Without that, it's insanely difficult for them to really make anything happen. Like you mentioned them needing Blink Daggers, which I do agree with, but Stampede is the way they bridge the gap between not having blinks and getting to blinks. It's just having that little bit of a level advantage. So Havosa still just being a monster in terms of farm. 65 and 28 here. Looks like they want to try to go in. Sonico's in the area. Disruption's going to be there. Sasha going in for the stomp. He's going to get a nice blast off and an Arctic Burn. Havosa just gets obliterated though. Burden, they hit level 6 on their Centaur. They're going to Stampede 4. They're looking for Sonico. He does not have Disruption up in time. That 25-second cooldown.
But Stampede is the huge pickup there.
Yeah.
We're seeing it. Pudge is coming in position. There is a high ground ward behind the Roshan, so let's see if Dendi's got the hook path. That's the other very difficult thing about playing a Pudge well. You have to have a good estimate of where the enemy wards are. And that's why a lot of Pudge buy smokes to kind of bypass all of that together.
Especially during daytime. That's the part where it becomes increasingly difficult for the Pudge to hook. Because at night, you can just hook from fog. Yeah. And it's very hard to see. He's going to throw one out right now. Misses just barely.
If he was level 7, that would have hit.
Yeah, maybe. I think if Saksha kept running down, then it probably... it would have been really close. I don't know. Hard to say.
The other nice thing is that when you have a Pudge disappear off the map, it allows one of your secondary supports to start getting some key items.
Yeah.
Which I imagine is going to be the Shaker this game. Although our style generally plays a very sacrificial role, so we'll see.
Yeah, normally at this stage in the game, we have a tendency to talk about stuff like whose late game is better, you know, who needs to push, who's on the timer. But really, it's just all about the Pudge.
Yeah.
Like, if the Pudge does well, the team will do well. If the Pudge does not do well, the team will have a significantly harder time. And right now, it seems like they're going to make it a little bit harder on Na'Vi. They're looping around here on Funnick. Amplified damage is going to be applied. There is a ward behind this tower as well. Burden have full vision of what's going on here. Sing's going to charge forward. He leads it out. They're going to throw out a Demonic Purge, and Sing takes a ton of damage from those quills. Good God. I guess he was getting hit by the tower too, but still.
The one thing that Burden United has going for them is that their burst damage is unparalleled. Like, they see a target, they slow and stun him, and he's dead.
Yeah, you go splat.
So the TP supports are, I don't want to say not there for Na'Vi. Even if they TP immediately when he's gone on, that person's probably dead regardless. Then they sell smokes. I think it's actually seen. They're pinging him out. In fact, they're initiating the stun will miss, and looks like the hook should be easy hook. There's 4 guys and Stampede for the retreat. Not the best way you want to use it, but hey man, if it's preventing a kill, it's preventing a kill.
And that just means that all the reaction from Na'Vi that they had right there was just wasted time.
It was a solo smoke and what, 2 TP squirrels being used?
Yeah. So they see Sing blink in, they immediately TP react, but by that time the TPs were already so long that they weren't even going to be there in time to do anything anyway, so they were almost 100% reliant on Dendi landing a hook to even result in any benefit whatsoever from that, and they just weren't able to get much.
So earlier you asked the question, how much does this Pudge need to do? And the answer I gave was not much. Just need to get 1 or 2 kills and disappear off the map, apply pressure. Would you agree to that seeing the past 5 minutes or do you think he needs to do more now?
I think he does need to do more. Here's the thing. If the Shaker was any closer to Blink than he is right now, I would say that maybe he's not as pressured because the Shaker can be a secondary method of setting up hooks, right? Like you blink Fissure or you blink into a really big Echo and you can hook somebody out, you get a solo kill off that, you take a team fight. There's ways to play around it if you're just not finding the hooks on your own. But our style is ages away from his blink. So it's going to be a very long time before anyone else is going to be able to help him set it up unless Sonico can get in range to throw out a Winter's Curse. Other than that, it's him on his own accord. Like, he has to be able to land the hooks. It's going to be a lot easier when Burdens start trying to fight into you to land those hooks, like if they're sieging towers. That's kind of Pudge's forte, right? Outside of playing in Fog. But I do think that at the very least, he wants to make something else happen. Because as of right now, he's got okay farm. Like 42 CS for a Pudge, it's actually pretty high. But in general, you will fall behind.
Stampede being used to retreat, but you're not retreating from this Pudge who has a haste route. He's coming straight for come with me, gets the kill, and he could go for more if he likes. He'll back off. The other thing I want to mention is when the Pudge was picked, Sing Sing blinks out and should be okay. Yeah, when the Pudge was picked, I was a little bit apprehensive about it because I feel like once you get the hook, there's just so many ways that Burden United could answer, and one of the answers is to blink in a Slaughter or a Centaur and just stun you straight up. Suddenly you have 2 heroes on top of you taking a ton of damage. So I feel like this is going to be a tough game for Dendi, despite how well he played it so far.
It's a different way of play, though, if you think about it, because if for whatever reason Sing or Sakshka have to be the ones to interrupt that Dismember by blinking in, then you're already putting yourself in the way of Call Down, the Bristleback, and the Shaker. You know, it's not just like a rock, paper, scissors sort of thing. There's a lot more that goes into the fights, and Necroman could be getting caught out here. Has that mech available. My nuts. Winter's Curse comes out. Is he going to be able to get the relocate? He's not even casting it. Actually, will eventually use it, but it's a little bit too late. And he lets his Shadow Fiend go down. In the meantime, Shadow Demon and Sakshka bottom lane manage to find Dendi, and they should be able to kill this Wisp a second time when he relocates, I should say.
When he locates.
Yeah, he locates, yes.
Oh, no,
he gets the tether
back
off. That'll work too.
He had a lot of time to get that relocate off.
He had days to relocate him out, and now Sting going back in, throws out the stun and the amp. Funnick's here. Throw out a little bit of guff and a couple of quill sprays.
I like the fact that whenever Burden United has the Centaur ultimate up, they're very aggressive.
Yeah. But
you always have a get out jail free card.
That's how you have to play it,
yeah.
Right? Like the cooldown isn't even that long. At level 1 it's only like 90 seconds, and then at level 3 it's a minute.
Oh, they also got Centaur Blink, so
yep,
it's go time. Hook is
nice
gonna come
hook
through, and Stampede not gonna get used yet. Oh, they'll just walk back out.
Did that Splinter Blast seem very fast to you, or is that just my screen? That was really weird.
Seemed like normal speed.
Maybe I know why. It's because my laptop is telling me to activate Windows. Thank you.
So, the thing I always kind of get into questioning with Pudge is, what item do you go for at this stage of the game? Because gold comes in very sparingly, especially like Dendy right now, he's not finding much kills.
I think Force Staff.
Well, Force Staff is great. You know he loves Blink Dagger.
Yeah, but the thing
There's
is,
also items like Glimmer Cape.
Blink Dagger is such a one-dimensional choice, and Glimmer Cape can be very bad against heroes who have built-in detection like Slardar. Like, not saying in itself the item is bad, but really what magical damage are you trying to negate on Burden? Like, it's just Centaur with his combo, I guess Requiem and Raises. Where
There's a lot of burst.
The majority of it, though, is physical damage. Like, in the late game, you're not going to be worried about glimmering somebody to make them not take a huge amount of magic burst, like against Leshrac. You're going to glimmer them to try to get them out of vision, and most teams will carry Dust. And in that case, like, the magic damage reduction isn't really as big of a savior as it would be in most games.
Okay, so your vote is on Force Staff.
Yeah, my vote's Force Staff. I think Blink is also
Ghost?
very good. Oh, I went Ghost up there, okay.
Okay, so just to deal with that physical damage that you mentioned.
The physical damage thing is huge. Maybe he just feels he's not going to be able to get the farm to get to a Force. And Blink, I think, is just... It's such an all-in choice, because if you get caught out with a Blink Dagger, then you're just dead. But Force, you can still get away. We will see a smoke here. Arstyle goes for the fissure.
Easy
Come
hook.
with me. Yeah, he's dead.
You continue to Roche? I don't
No,
think
no,
you can.
no, you
You
can't.
back off. Stampede is available. Wisdom's now trapped on the high ground. Stampede being used. And Shadow Fiend kind of have to fight this. Two-man stun coming in. And Hovol's going to get brought down. Actually, the ultimate's going to come through. Hovol's being healed up by the Winter River. And Shadow Fiend's going to go in as a result. Looks like the Death Requiem will take him down. Sock's going to come in, but he's actually being focused by 4 heroes. It's going to be Navi taking a 4-1 fight. Roshan not low enough for them to take. I felt like that fight could have gone very differently if Burden United just chained 1 or 2 stuns together, because look at how low Navi heroes were.
The Requiem never went off. That's the problem.
that's
If
the
that
thing.
Requiem went off, I guarantee you Burden win that fight. Like, Singh went in with a really nice double stun, caught out 2, and the hook even missed from Dendy. Like, I think he was trying to hook Necroman into the pit to isolate him and just straight up kill him, because that would have almost ensured they win the fight anyway.
Right.
But it just didn't end up happening that way. The Winter's Curse was huge from Sonico. That was the saving grace, I think, for Na'Vi to pull themselves out of that engagement. So far for me, if we're looking at an MVP, that Winter Wyvern just won it with that play.
Yeah, also I do want to point out the heal spell. Obviously the target he healed still died, but the fact that you delay the death for 1 or 2 more seconds, make them focus on the Gyrocopter more, that 1 or 2 second also decides the fight.
Yeah, that was one of those situations where just, like you mentioned, 1 or 2 seconds can just be the make or break. And I think Funnick might be thinking about clearing that little bit of an ancient stack that he has going over there. The one nice thing that Burden have going too is whenever they want, they can go for Roche, because amplified damage just lets you kill it so damn fast. And you have one hero, I think, on the team who can break it, and then you can just throw out the amp and just go for it. But a lot of Dota left to be played in this game, and I'd still say it's pretty 50-50. Like, Dendy is like not really getting a ton of farm, but it's Pudge, so as long as he's landing his hooks, that's really all that's important. They still have plenty of damage output to be able to get kills. Arstyle's getting closer to his Blink Dagger, and once he gets that Echo going with the Winter's Curse combination on top of that and Call Down, their team fight's still very scary.
Yeah, I do agree with your statement about how this game's going to go on for a while, because like I mentioned, how Burden United doesn't have the best high ground, neither does Na'Vi. I mean, Gyro could kind of walk up and hit it a bit, but he's kind of low range. You're dealing with double Blink Dagger initiation, so if you misstep once, you're just dead.
Yeah.
And
The one thing about Na'Vi, though, is they do have an insanely tanky hero on the Bristleback to lead the front lines. Like,
that's true. He can just walk up.
Yeah, in the late game, Bristleback can just walk into the tower and punch it.
Amp can make the tankiest hero not so tanky.
Yeah, that's true as well. That's
so I imagine I think Na'Vi should pick up a medallion into Solar Crest. But I always say that. When
Solar Crest is amazing.
Yeah. Uh-oh, come with me.
Oh, what a disruption, but I think it just kills him anyway. It was a cool dodge.
I think that's fine for Burden United. That's a 4-man smoke. You're like, okay,
I think they get a tower of this as well.
I think they were going to get a tower regardless of who they picked. And if you pick the Shadow Demon, that's their least valuable target.
So would you call that a Pili Die smoke tanking?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I'm just asking, dude.
I'm not sure if you needed to throw the Pili Die on it, but actually the tower's still alive.
No, I'm
They're
saying it's a
defending.
good thing.
Here, okay. I agree.
It is a very good thing that your support died. And the fact that Burden managed to keep their tier 1 standing is also good, but they are going to teleport react to your bottom, Splinter Blast. Gonna slow Necroman. I don't think Funny's gonna be able to get her.
Oh, what? That's the play, man. Going to Fog,
Walking around that corner. Wrong neighborhood.
I mean, that's the play from like back in 2002 when you started playing Dota, right?
Yeah.
Like, still works. Still works. And like you said,
It was very unexpected, though. Like, when you know a team fight's gonna come out, you expect that. But if you're just walking around and trying to chase somebody away, you don't really expect a Requiem out of nowhere.
Fissure and a hook. Rinse and repeat. Come with me. The gang tank? Question mark. Roche is dropping low.
It's low.
Oh, that's a two-man stun, and they're gonna try to initiate. Funnick walks in, and he's now in the wrong neighborhood. So, the calldown's gonna come through. Sing taking a ton of damage, and looks like Necroman gets called out. The
Oh my
Fissure, the
God.
Echo, hits on everybody. Sock blinks back in, but his blinks into strain the rocket. Sing looks like flat canceled his blink dagger. Roche is very low, and now Navi wants to take a crack at it. I'm not sure if they have the physical damage though.
I don't actually think
All right, Punch got a DD. Let's go, boys. Let's go.
Between the two of them, all right, this is going to be the manliest Roshan attempt ever.
There is a buyback from Bristleback. They really want it. Looks like
The problem is Sing's too low. Like, the fact that he didn't die there and he's super low health means that he's still going to take a really long time to get back to the pit.
Well,
I think they might be able to do this, though.
Do they have vision?
They have one more urn charge. I think they can do this.
They have
just
relocate
need
as
to
well.
ice
They could
block him.
relocate in. Are they going to do it? Come with me. He's going to get fissured. Roshan's dealing a ton of damage here.
Oh, Courier just
Oh,
got
here
hit by
comes the blink.
Roshan.
Sing Sing's going. He keeps immediately ultimated. And looks like Sing Sing can get brought down. The relocate defensively back out. They will lose to Roshan as a result. And so will Come With Me go down. And I do believe Wisp will also go down. That's a very costly fight for Burden United.
That was still a very good relocate from Minox, even if they end up going down
They
here.
want to fight.
I mean, they're going to be able to find Dendy. That's one down. Funnick is the one who picked up the Aegis, but he might be getting caught out here. There's still 4 members of Bird United left, and Sonico just puts Funnick in an ice block and says, see you later, I'm out. There's Ibis rune spawning here, bottom as well.
Well, he's got
Necroman can
Aegis.
follow it up if he wants. He's going to go for a Requiem onto the Aegis.
Havos on the back line here gets initiated. Calldown's going to get dropped. Meanwhile, they actually just collapse onto Havos. He's just dead as well. And the 2 supports on the high ground just watch us and can't do anything.
Well, thankfully, at the very least, Artstyle is able to get his way out of there.
Look at how aggressive these initiators are, and double blink dagger is pretty scary. What did he drop and kill?
Wraithband. Somebody dropped the Wraithband. I think it
Okay.
was Necroman.
All right. Wraithbrand or Ring of Aquila?
Wraithband.
Okay.
Not Aquila. So, I gotta say, Burden, they probably won that. And by probably, I mean definitely. Because not only did they kill the Aegis carrier 2 times, but they get a tier 1 out of it.
Funnick
And-
also diebacked.
Yeah. Huh. Wait, did he die back?
He bought back just to join the Roche fight earlier, or faster.
Oh, yeah, he did. Wow, okay. So, yeah, that's
pretty
even
huge.
worse. So, die back. That means he died 3 times in succession.
One of them being cancelled by the Aegis. Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing about Bristleback dying in a game like this, hold your thought, because Sock might be in a little bit of trouble. The thing about Bristleback dying in a game like this is that he's expected kind of to go in the front line along with the Pudge. And you're going to just get into a downward spiral of just initiating and dying, because heroes like Shadow Fiend and Centaur as well as the Slaughter, they're very good at just killing somebody very quickly.
The Soul Catcher and the Amplify damage just melt him. Like,
Yeah.
every single time he gets it applied to him. And it almost completely negates his Bristleback passive, saying going for a stun initiation here is going to only land on Funnick, probably not the target of choice.
I think they
At
just
least
want
for
the
tower
T1.
diving. Nice tower denied by Sonico. Even gets one more harassing Arctic burn off. There's going to be a purge onto Sonico here. Blink forward right into the Slithering Crush. Sonico evaporates. See
Soul
ya the
Catcher.
heck later.
Backline Havos gets initiated on, but oh, looks like there's going to be a hook. Dendy gets the quick kill here, but the Blink Shadow Fiend with the BKB do a lot of right click. Necroman says, Dendy, I know you could do this, but I could do it too. Dendy, it's going to get brought down as well. Triple kill for Necroman. And this mid game, it seems like it's all but Burden United. It looked really good for Navi early on, but since that Roshan fight, Burden United is just getting all the objectives they want.
Yeah, Necroman off that fight manages to secure his Blink Dagger, which is going to be huge for him. Now he can follow up with a Stampede and the Slithering Crush from Sing and just drop a Requiem on whoever. And really, the only person on Navi who has BKB is Havos at this point.
And BKB is not kind of like a...
It's
like-
not amazing
Yeah,
against their
it's
team.
okay.
It's just that Burden have a very aggressive kind of damage output style oriented team where, yeah, you want to make sure that you're not going to get stunned. but you also could just get right-click death in like 1 second.
Yeah.
Because of amplified damage and soul catcher, which both go through BKB.
Assuming you get your BKB off, like there is some long-range initiator inside of Verdant United. So we talked about how BKB is not the best for gyro, but very necessary. The Vanguard on the Bristleback, normally it's a very good item, but damage block works very poorly against heavy minus armor, which is what Verdant United has.
Yeah,
so
but he does pick up a plate mail though.
Okay, that helps a bit, but
Yeah.
he's still like he doesn't have an SY, for example. And lastly, your other core, which is a Pudge. I mean, he's kind of live or die by the hooks, and so far he's not really finding the hooks. His items
he's
are
found
not-
a decent amount of them. It's just not been enough.
Right. He's been hooking Come With Me a lot, which Verdant United, again, is fine with. So I feel like Na'Vi now has to play for more of the late game, the hooks, to defend their high ground. Because I think for the next 10 to 15 minutes, unless they find like 3 or 4 pickoffs in a row, they're going to be seizing control of the map control. And Verdant United is going to have the entire map to themselves, and they're going to farm a lot, adding pressure with double blink and relocate ganks. Here comes Dendi, solo gank. He will find Sock, but
Oh,
okay.
that blink reaction. Well, I'm going to spot out a couple more from Na'Vi near the top lane. Come with me, could be a targeted choice again.
Oh, come with me. We'll die. Dendi didn't reveal his invis rune, so he could kind of shark around and look for more.
Yeah, I think he definitely wants something else. I think killing the Wisp is the right call here. And bottom lane, they're going to be teleport reacting here. Sing and Necroman both getting themselves to safety, at least for the time being. And Dendi just does not want to give up. He lands a hook on the My Nuts here. Blink forward, no stomp coming in just yet. Was actually on cooldown. Stampede is going to go out. Sonico throwing out a Winter's Curse onto just the Wisp. Really wants him dead. The Tether is going to be thrown out. Splinter Blast is there though. Helps Sonico pick that up inside of the jungle. Havos got his BKB pop going. Toe-to-toe with Necroman. Funix also in the area.
Uh-oh.
He does have a TP available, but I don't think he's going to be able to get away from this one.
Chaos is what Na'Vi lives for, and they're winning this fight because of it. Hook is going to get dodged by Sing Sing. Earn, though, is canceling that blink. What a Fissure coming out here by Art Style. And it's going to be a full-on collapse by Verdant United. I talked about how Verdant United will have the stronger mid-game, but not when they're all separated like that.
Okay, so any other team besides Na'Vi, I'm looking at the game right now and I'm thinking to myself, they're actually, like, pretty far behind.
They are really behind.
Yeah, because the Shadow Fiend has about equivalent farm for the Gyro, but the Slaughter is going to start becoming more and more of a menace. And then they just find, like, 3
That's just Na'Vi
seemingly
being Na'Vi,
super
right?
easy kills.
Yeah.
It just boggles my mind how this team can do this in these circumstances. And they were fighting in an area where they basically had no vision at all. They saw 2 heroes walking away from their tier 2, sure, that's fair. But otherwise, it was like, yep, we're going to walk high ground. Dendi finds a kill on the Wisp with the help of Sonico. That Necroman's out of position, and we just find more cleanup. Like, they killed both cores and a support, and Come With Me top lane. So they basically killed 4 heroes in a row.
Just making sure which gem Bristleback is holding. It's purchased by Na'Vi.
Yeah.
Because if it's Verdant United's gem, that's another kind of cut that they're not prepared to have.
I don't think Burden were far enough ahead or felt like they needed the gem enough to warrant purchasing it. And plus, their Shadow Demon is broke. Like, he's got
He's almost got a Force Staff. And he's about to die
Oh
again.
God, Come With Me. They're going to relocate in though. Nice defensive fissure coming in from Art Style. Keeps Necroman at bay. Oh God, Funnick.
Yeah, Art Style blocked the hook that it was meant for Funnick. He was going to hook him out of that tree. And that would have been it. Would have dodged a relocate gank. But a little bit of miscommunication. Sing Sing will blink out just fine. Is that Sing Sing's Limber Cape?
No, it's
his
Centaurs.
teammates. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, they're chasing.
Yeah, they got the gem from Art Style. They really want that back.
Fissure will hit on Sing Sing. He was continue to run. BKB gets activated. Sing Sing being chased all the way to the base. Will finally die. Sprint didn't help there. And Havos, he's not done. He's actually just roaching the high ground.
Okay, Disruption coming out. Blink stun onto Art Style. Winter's Curse going to be there. Necroman comes in with the BKB. Sakshka going down. Requiem trying to be channeled, but he gets dismembered during the cast. Art Style getting healed back up by that cold embrace. The hook is going to land. Gem on deck. Somebody needs to pick that up before they go back to base. Come with me. He wants it so bad, but he might end up sacrificing his own life for it. The gem dropped once again. Come with me. He wanted it. He wanted it just a little bit too much. Okay, Havos. That's not your base, dude.
Dude,
I'm
Havos
just letting
sees it,
you know.
man.
All right, he knows.
He's tanking T3s.
That's experience right there, boys. We've evolved to 5.
All right. Save for that.
Sorry,
Again,
I really for a second thought he was going to go deep on that. And
I was disappointed.
I was terrified.
I was disappointed that he didn't go for it, but again, this is like just defies logic. Like if you sit down, look at the game, the way that game's going, it should be Burden United that's winning. And the fact that it was Funnick that died in the beginning of the fight, right?
Yep.
So
he dies.
Riddle me this, right? You lose the tankiest member of your team, be like, all right, let's go, guys, let's chase, and they somehow win the fight.
I think a lot of it also has to do with the fact that no one has BKB on Burden except for the Shadow Fiend.
Right.
So for instance, when Singh goes into the team fight, he doesn't have that 10 seconds of magic immunity that make it so like Pudge and the Gyrocopter and the Shaker don't just deal massive amounts of damage to him. And not only that, but it stops him from being able to deal damage himself. And hello, there's Hook. Singh getting caught out here by Sonico and Dendi. Splinter Blast securing that kill.
Perfect shift queuing on that dismember. No, what that sprint stun thing is called.
Yeah,
Funnick is going to get surrounded, but here comes Havos with the BKB.
Oh, that damage!
Not actually connecting. Two supports dying immediately, and Necroman BKB down. He's going to be going down as well. That's a triple kill on Havos, and suddenly they're right outside of Roshan pit. Luckily for them.
I think the Gyro's online, guys. I don't know about you.
Yeah, he's online.
We haven't really talked a lot about it, but if you think about the fact that Gyrocopter does a lot of physical damage in an AoE against a team with a Shadow Demon and a Wisp together, like those supports do not tank up very quickly. And most of the time what you see them buy is stuff like Glimmer Capes, for example, or Force Staffs, as Come With Me is building right now. There's no mech, which means that the Wisp doesn't really have that much armor, so the fact that Havos is getting like these juicy flat cannons off during team fights, it just annihilates the supports. Like they can't stay in the fight. The AoE damage is too much.
But we're seeing a very sizable lead on the side of Na'Vi, and the Yule Scepter pickup for Pudge is huge. Now he doesn't rely on anybody. Here comes the initiation, but more or less just to kind of delay that push. They need 10 more seconds for Shadow Fiend, but keep in mind that Shadow Fiend is coming back with half the souls. So his Requiem would be pretty lackluster.
I would actually say that in this game, maybe even getting something like a Lotus Orb might be worth it. Just for Na'Vi. Like just to be able to dispel, right?
Where are you dispelling the amp?
Yeah, I mean, you just put it on Bristleback, for example. Or you put it on the Pudge, or even Havos. Like, any of it's good. Your other alternative is going for the Solar Crest.
Oh, come with me, the gang tank. He's gonna get hooked, and he's gonna be dead. Echo's gonna go on the backline here on both these guys. Like you said, the lack of BKB in the beginning. Cancel from Winter Wyvern, and again, Shadow Fiend initiating for Na'Vi. He's actually on the backline, being chased by two in the front. It's the Pudge, it's the Shaker, it's doing a lot of work. Is that Stampede being trying to get them out? They will get out, but the Wisp gets fissured down. Shadow Fiend still being chased, the Rocket giving them sight a little bit, and Necroman is gonna go down. That's a 4-for-nothing fight. Well, they might not have the best high ground, but when there's 4 heroes set on the enemy side, you are going to just walk up to the high ground and start killing towers.
That Arctic Burn from Sonico was so on point. Like with that Stampede, Necroman ideally would have been able to blink away, but since Arctic Burn's a damage over time, every time you hit him, it's like another 5 seconds. He just can't blink away.
That Winter Curse immediately after Shadow Fiend blinked in, though. That's what won them the fight.
Oh, wrong. Force that direction. Sanchka getting taken down here. That's another Beyond Godlike for Havos, and there's still 4 dead on the side of Burden. Sing's gonna be up in 1 second, and they just call it. Good game, well played. Na'Vi taking the series 2-0 over Burden United.
This is the reason why Na'Vi could pick Pudge, where a lot of other teams could not have picked it. Because a lot of other teams would have just lost that mid-game. But somehow Pudge, on the side of Na'Vi, just making miracles happen.
He landed the hooks when he needed to. More importantly, I gotta give a shout out to Sonico.